What's up? What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing? So I'm gonna give it some time for some people to start coming in. You guys, those bots there. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it some time for people to start coming in. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them below. I'm also going to put the link if you guys want to hop in and chat. If you guys want to talk about anything, if you want to ask me a question, if you want me to, if you have anything you disagree with me with, that's totally cool. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna put it in the description. I'll put it in the chat right now. And if you guys want to come in and chat, I have a couple questions that you guys asked me on Instagram, and I'll probably start with those. But yeah, no, I just want to say what's up. I wanted to say thank you to all of you guys. It's been crazy. I've grown almost like 1,000 subscribers in this last month. So yeah, 10,000. What's up, Michael? I see you commenting all the time. I appreciate your comments, bro. Yeah, so yeah, we'll wait a little longer and then we'll get started. Give me 1 second. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Gail, nice to see you. What's up, Isaiah? Nice to see you. Got a daughter in Calcesa, Colombia. Dangerous parts, but you really want to go to Manizales. Dope, man. Dope, dope. All right, so I'll start answering questions. For those who just joined, I have the link if you guys want to join the live stream in the description, and I put it in the chat as well. So if you guys want to hop on the call, if you want to say what's up, if you have a disagreement with any of my opinions, I know I'm very vocal about that. We're more than welcome to discuss. Or if you just want to say what's up, come on in. It's gonna be a fun show. Okay, so I'll start with the questions here, and then if we run out of questions, I'll look at the Instagram, and we'll probably go for like an hour and a half or so, and we'll see what happens. So how much money do I need to live a week in a smaller town in Colombia? I seriously want to travel down again to start looking for a wifey. I always recommend that you like $1,000 a month is really good for like a smaller city. When it comes to smaller cities, I would recommend not like a Pueblo, but like Pereira, Armenia, Bucaramanga, Manizales, Cali in some ways, Barranquilla, Santa Marta, right? Those cities. I would honestly, lately, I would say stay away from Bogota, Medellin, from all those places because, um, yeah, I think that those places, like I went to Medellin recently. I'm making a few videos about that. And Medellin has just changed so much, man. It's gotten so trashy, in my opinion. Poblado was extremely trashy. Laureles is nice, but I don't know. Man, I actually like Bogota more than I like Medellin, if I'm being honest. Um, how much money USD do I need to live? Okay, yeah. So I would say $1,000 a month. If you can make that, you'll be chilling. In the bigger cities, you want 1,500 to about 2,000, but I would say 1,000 a month is a good starter thing. Okay, what's it like in Santa Marta if you've been there? I have not been there. I've only been to Cartagena. I wasn't a huge fan. Like the beach was cool. It was very just touristy. There were a lot of vendors everywhere. And I've been to a lot better beaches in the world. In the Philippines, it's nicer. In Bali, it's a lot nicer. In Thailand, it's nicer. I feel like Asian beaches are pretty nice. Some of the low-key Colombian beaches, I'm gonna go with like my girl and her family. So I'll make videos about that. But to be honest, yeah, I don't know too much about Santa Marta. Why would you rather raise your children in Colombia instead of a nice American suburb? That's a great question. So, the problem with America is that it's too comfortable, and I hate the culture there. I don't know if you guys agree, but American people are some of the most rude, they're some of the most entitled, and for some reason, there are a ton of, for some reason, there's like a it's like the most comfortable country in the world, but it has the most like mental health problems and depression. And oh, I saw you, Joe. I don't know where you went, but and I just feel like the culture in America is too lost right now. They value the wrong things. There's not a focus on God like I want to have in my household. So it's a mix of a lot of things, but that's pretty much the main thing. Michael, I relate to your videos a lot. Hello, bro. What's up, Wade? Barranquilla is extremely cheap. Thanks for answering my questions, Wes. No problem, bro. All right, Joe, I'm gonna let you in right now. You ready, bro? And he's gone. Yeah. Anybody else? If you guys want to join, the link's in the description. And yeah, Keith Charles, I have followed your growth, but I remember. Okay. What has changed about Medellin? This is a great question. So I think Medellin has kind of always been this way. I have a couple of videos coming out where I talked with the locals about the culture of Medellin. And the problem with Medellin is that it's like all the worst things about Colombia on steroids. The superficial culture, the paisa culture, how women are like, I'm not going to say like women, all the women that are prostitutes, but a lot of them look for money. They want to get operated. They're into like fake things and they want to be with the guy with the most amount of money. So it's like, so that's, I'm not, obviously that's not all the women there, but that seems to be the culture. In order to make a business there, it seems that the paisa culture now is like you have to step on somebody else in order to be successful. So it's the city is actually, I feel, really dangerous. Medellin seems more dangerous than Bogota too. I felt like at any moment I could have gotten robbed. There was just a lot of chaos everywhere. It was so tight. So yeah, if in my opinion, this time I went to Medellin, it's a lot different, and you're gonna see it in my future videos. But I wasn't a huge fan. We ate a lot of really good food, but to be honest, it was a pretty bad experience. All right, Jim, I'm gonna let you in. You ready, bro? And he's gone too. All right, Michael Chester, I agree completely. Cinco, car dependency is my main problem with America. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm a huge fan of public transportation. And I think that like if you don't have a car in the US, you're pretty much screwed and you need to yeah, I don't know. I like here in Colombia how I can go to the corner and there's a pharmacy. I can walk another block and then there's like a place where I can get my fruit and my produce, and my supermarkets are across the street. And I feel like you can't get that in America. You have to like drive for it. All right. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, Wes, man.
Tracy.
Thank you, man. It's good to see you. I did not get a chance to finish watching you and David and your significant other's video, but I love it. I really do, and I thank you for that.
Thank you,
Um,
man. Yeah, what do you want to talk about, bro?
well, real quick, and I don't want to keep much time. I know you have a big following. Again, I'm out of New Orleans. I'm 46 years old for folks in the audience. 27 years military. I'm in the Air National Guard. I got 19 years of civilian law enforcement under me.
Thank
You
you for your
probably could
service,
tell
bro.
I'm home alone. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Like Macaulay Culkin, I just tried to cut my grass, but it's raining outside. So Medellin and here in New Orleans, same. With the weather.
Mm,
Only difference is we below sea level.
yeah, and it's
But
very humid, right? In New Orleans. Yeah.
yes, humidity is a mother flipper here. But you I first I just want to make a comment about thank you for your respectful thoughts and also thought-provoking comments that you have and videos that you make. Some things I don't agree with, most
Right.
things I do. And you know that you've been reading the comments. I
Yeah, of
see your
course, of course.
comments.
But yeah,
um,
that's cool. That's cool.
eh,
I expect disagreement. So yeah, I would
of
love to
course.
talk about people that disagree with me. It's all good.
Well, that's what makes a great discourse when we talk about having conversations and respectful debates. That is
Exactly.
what creates growth. That's what I try to
Exactly.
teach my kids. I have four boys, four teenage boys, two in college,
Cool.
which leads me to my aspires. I'll say I do want to get me a camper, and I still want to travel some of America, but
Okay.
ultimately I do want to reside in Medellin, and that'll be my final retirement place.
Cool. Why
I'm
did you
going,
pick Medellin? Why did you pick Medellin out of the other Colombian cities?
and I'll be honest, I'm super biased because that's the only one that I've been to.
Mm,
I've done a lot of video research, and I have another military friend that's been in 22 years that has been to Costa. He's been to Chile. I've been to Chile too, but through the military, so I really don't count that. And he's been to a few other Central Panama and South American, Brazil countries. But he told me before I came back from my deployment last year from the Middle East, he said, because we were going to do Costa Rica, then Colombia. And
okay.
he told me right before I came home, he said, bypass Costa Rica altogether, go straight to Medellin.
Cool.
So,
Cool. Yeah.
I've been, this will be my sixth time, I think, going.
Okay, cool. Awesome,
in
bro.
September.
Are you looking to settle and retire down? Do you have a wife? Are you married or are you
No, no, no. I'm divorced. I've been divorced 6 years. But you may or may not remember, I acquired a girlfriend there about a few months ago. Same, I say similar age. I'm 46. She's
okay,
38. She
cool.
has three
Good.
kids. She don't
Right.
want any more kids. I don't want any more kids. So it works out perfect. We have the same vibe. I will say the reason I picked Medellin, and the second time I fell in love with the place. This before I even knew her then.
Okay.
But the second time, me and another good friend of mine, I call him my brother from another mother. We're the same age. We are actually trying to acquire the new apartment, one of the new two units, a unit for myself and him that they're building in Italy right now. We're
Italy.
trying to, yes, sir. We're trying to acquire that, and of course the you probably noticed already. The process is hard.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
so
There's so much red
he's
tape
doing it.
in Colombia, bro. It's a pain in the butt for sure.
So just to tell you and ask you a question, he's doing the process now because he's not military.
Okay.
Because I'm military, and because of the nature of my clearance, I don't want to do anything with that right now. But he's going through the process. We've been trying to get one of the consulates here in America for a long time, and no one has answered the phone. I called 5 times, at
Yeah.
least the one in Orlando, Miami, all over. Houston is closer to me and closer to him, of course. So, what would my question is? Like I said, we want to retire in Medellin. We ultimately want to retire in Colombia. What? How would you go about it? We want to retire, like
Right.
that's the goal. But we're
Oh
working
yeah.
on getting the visa now. What would and he thought investment. We talked to some people. He thought investment visa would probably be his better way to go. What
Right.
would you suggest in that?
So what I would do, I'm in a different ballpark because I have my wife, right? So if I were to do that, I would put everything in my wife's name and then I would gift her the money and we would buy it together. I think for your case, I would go with the retirement visa. I have a couple of lawyers. If you send me a message on Instagram or if you send me an email, I can set you up with some people to help you out with that. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of experience, so I don't want to give you the wrong advice. I'm just send you to the lawyers and see what you can do with that. And then once you do get the process going, I would love to hear from you again. And then if I do another live stream, I would love you to come on to tell about your experience. But unfortunately, Medellin and Manizales are different. So there's so much bureaucracy in Colombia, and every city is different. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes they give you a
Yep.
pain in the ass. So
Yep.
if I'm being real, bro, research the investment visa, talk to a couple of lawyers and see what you can do. But that's the best advice I can give because I don't want to give bad advice, unfortunately.
No, I understand. Yeah, and I take it. I understand. Like I said, I've been to more Middle Eastern countries. I just came back from Saudi Arabia last year. I did 6 months there. I was teaching everything through the military. All of I've been to Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. I've been some places I can't even talk about. I've been to Iraq. I've been a lot of Middle Eastern countries, and it's like that there too.
Yeah,
It's
unfortunately.
like you said, you got to know somebody, and sometimes you got to grease a little
Yep.
palms.
Yeah,
But
and that's
yeah,
the great thing about America, I would say, is that there's not a lot of problems with that. Um,
yep,
so yeah, you just gotta take the good with the bad. I haven't found a perfect
yes,
place
sir.
yet, but yeah, that's I wish the best for you, bro. Thank you for the call, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And real quick, Medellin is more closer to here. Like we said, with the weather, the only difference is it's what 5,000 feet in elevation. But the
Yes.
weather, the people, because in New Orleans we all the same. Laissez le bon temps rouler. It's
Yeah.
the
I,
it's
I
the
so
same.
actually
So
so I would actually recommend something. I don't know how much time you spent in Medellin the first time. I would travel to the other cities, brother. Look at Santa Marta, look at even Cartagena or like some of the smaller cities, because if I'm being honest, you might enjoy that more. So I wouldn't rush into buying something right away. If I were you, I would take 6 months, travel through Colombia and make a decision. Because a lot of people go to Medellin now and it's different. It's not what they expected. And I don't want you to get stuck with a property where
yeah,
you end up like not happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would
yeah,
do.
no, understand 100%, and that is my plan. Like I said, because my friend he can do it more easily. But as you stated, you're right. That is my plan to do. Like I
Yeah.
said, I am a little biased, but I still want to travel and,
Yeah,
and and
definitely
and do
travel and
that.
travel with your girl and see what she thinks. But I'm gonna move on to the
Yes,
next
sir.
person. But Tracy, thank you
Yes,
for the call,
sir.
brother.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Shannon, you're up. Go ahead.
Hi. I had a quick question. I'm due to move to Colombia in November with my husband, who's currently serving in the Colombian military from the UK.
Okay.
And I was just wondering which area would be best to find like a well, obviously an English speaking job. Which area would you recommend?
That's tricky. I would say you have to look at Medellin and Bogota. That's the best place you're gonna get opportunity. But if I'm being honest, your best bet is working online. The Colombian peso
Yeah.
is very weak right now, and trying to find an English speaking job that pays you well to live, I think that's a really big ask. How good's your Spanish?
It's just a little bit at the moment, but I was thinking maybe also to look a job for my home country, also to work remotely. Do you think that would be a good option as well?
Yes, do it. You're from UK, you said, right?
Yeah, UK and London, yeah.
So because if you, let's say you made like the minimum wage UK, right?
Yeah.
That will sustain you. You will live like a top 10% lifestyle in Colombia. If you came to Colombia looking for a job, you're gonna work a lot harder for a lot less money. So don't do that. You want to try to work online. That's the best bet for all foreigners.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Not a problem, Shannon. Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Whisk, what's up, brother? Or girl, I don't know who you are. Are you there? Okay, he's gone.
Hey,
Steven, what's up, brother?
Well, go on, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm getting ready to head to church. I have some work to do at my church, man. Yo,
Sure.
so I'm doing.
What's up, brother? What do you want to talk about?
Well, all right. So I'm gonna ask you for some advice, right? So I'm doing UX design. I'm about to start working remotely. I told you the situation. Like, I'm interested in visiting Colombia, but I told you I don't remember if you remember me telling you the situation that happened with my friend that got drugged. You know.
Did you send me a DM on Instagram?
Yeah, man. I talked to you on Instagram, man.
Okay, sorry. I get so many DMs. I'm sorry. But I kind of remember it now, so it's cool.
Yeah. So I'm very curious about that. Like, is it bad? Because I know is that an issue that's happening a lot over there, or is it?
All right. So I'm gonna keep it real. When I went to Medellin this weekend, I felt so unsafe almost all the time. In Laureles, it was a little more safe, I would say. But okay, so I'm gonna tell you a couple stories. So when I arrived to like the Airbnb I was staying, my girl and I, we had our bags, right? And we were like waiting on the street for the guy to come down and get us. And honestly, I felt really nervous that somebody was gonna come and rob us, because two guys on a moto, they can come and rob you in 2 seconds. And if you have your bags and stuff, it's an easy target.
Yeah.
When it comes to druggings, it's both. It depends on who you hang out with. Most Americans that come to Medellin are fucking dumb. I'm going to say it right now. They come in, they flash their money, they go in looking for the wrong people, the wrong crowds, and that just puts a target on their back. They think that, Colombian women are easy, or that because they're a foreigner, they're going to be treated like a certain kind of way, which is all a lie. I'll make a future video about that. But so they arrive, they get approached by a couple girls, they meet up with a girl on Tinder, and then they get drugged. It doesn't happen as much as you think, but it depends on the crowd that you're hanging at and if you make good decisions or not. So what was your main concern about? Was it about drugging, or was it about like the safety?
I mean, so all right, I live in Jamaica, and it's the same thing here. Like what you're talking about, men in motorcycles, people get robbed. You know what I mean? So like I live here, so I know, one, you can't be too loud. You can't be too loud. Like if you're especially if you're a foreigner. Mi español es bien, que viví en Panamá, viví en Chile, como si yo pueda hablar español. So like,
do you speak French? Do they speak French in Jamaica, or is it English?
They speak English. We call it patois. In Haiti, they speak Creole, which is like it's
a mix, right?
It's a mix. But yeah, we speak English with like a hint of African. So I'm just very concerned. Like I really want to visit. Like my plan is to go to Mexico, then Costa Rica, Ecuador, and then Colombia. And I really wanted to visit. And when I was in South America, I did Argentina. I never got to visit Colombia or Brazil. So the plan is to go that side. But I'm just concerned about my safety.
So your advantage is, one, you're from Jamaica, so you know what the streets are like. And two, you blend in as a Colombian. If you were in Medellin, I would assume you're Colombian. I wouldn't assume you're a foreigner. So my advice is that when you go to Medellin, dress as much as
a local,
dress as low key as possible. Try to blend in with the people, because you already got the skin color. I can't blend in, right? These eyes don't lie, but you can blend in.
There are a lot of Asians in South America, though.
but not in Colombia. There's more now, but dude, we stand out like crazy. In my city, bro, I'm one of like 5 Asians, and especially because my wife is Colombian, people stare at us all the time. So yeah, you would blend in. You just want to like try to blend in with the crowd. But as far as safety goes, I think if you stay in like the nicer areas, you'll be chilling. But don't assume like act like you would in Jamaica, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
best.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't like. I barely have cash on me anywhere I go. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
like
good.
the low stuff. I don't like partying.
Yeah,
too
leave
much.
your passport at home. I would leave your wallet at home. Just bring out cash and maybe one card. So in the case if you get robbed, you'll just lose your like cell phone and maybe some money. But I don't want to scare people, but it's a very real possibility. And if you go on an expats page, somebody's getting robbed or drugged literally every single day. So you just gotta be smart, man. You gotta be smart.
Yeah. How are the churches, by the way? Like,
Great. I'm
Christian
in
church.
are you Christian or are you Catholic?
Yeah, I'm
or
Christian. Christian.
Dude,
No,
yeah, my
Christian.
church.
Like
Okay, so I'm
Baptist.
gonna be real, bro. My church in Manizales is the best. I've been to churches in Medellin and in Bogota. I went to the biggest church in Bogota. The presence of God isn't there the same as it is in my home church. The only problem is that my church is it's only Spanish, so you have to speak Spanish to
That's
enjoy
cool.
it. Yeah, but I in my opinion, like my church. Okay, so my problem with Christians, right, is that there are a lot of churches that see religion as a business, and there's a lot of people that say they are Christians, but they don't live the lifestyle. And I feel like my church here in Manizales, all the people that I met, the people that serve, actually live the lifestyle according to the Bible. So that's the main difference, in my opinion.
So I mean, well, yeah, it is a money thing for a lot of people, and it's very networky. Like a lot of people use church for networking.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but
yeah.
you got anything else you want to ask, or are you good?
No, man. The plan is, you know, what I mean, I'm planning to come, so I just really want to know. I'll always ask before I visit, like, what the street is like. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, man, thanks for the messages. I think I remember you on Instagram, but yeah, thanks for stopping by, bro.
Appreciate it. Man. Blessings, man. Blessings.
Yeah. All right, T, I see you in the stream, but I'm gonna answer some of these questions. There are a freak ton of comments, so I'm gonna try to get to them all. I'm gonna answer the super chats first, and yeah, I'll go from there. Let me see. What much money does an average Colombian person make? What's $1,000 a month in Colombia? The average person, the average minimum wage is 1,100,000 a month, I think, or 1,000,000 Colombian pesos a month, which is $300. That, in my opinion, is very hard to live on. If you get a good job, my wife works as an accountant in the hospital. She makes 2,100,000 Colombian pesos, which is like $500, which is honestly, like, for the amount of work she does, is not worth it. And what's $1,000 a month in Colombia is like 4 million pesos. So imagine, like, if you live a pretty minimal lifestyle, apartments in Medellin will cost you like maybe $500-$600. Here in Manizales, my apartment cost me like $300 and like $350, I think. And then with food, I cook a lot at home. I'm buying my whole entire lifestyle. I can do everything: cook, rent, go out on dates with my girl, do a little bit of traveling, and it's around 1,000 a month. Shannon, I answered this question already. How much you pay for rent? $350. Answered that question already. I'm from Guana. It was so small and inviting, beautiful women, peaceful and traditional. Cool. Then Exxon Mobil discovered oil off the coast, and they're expecting to produce 3. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I admire your brave and adventurous spirit. You trekked far and wide to find the love of your life. Did you have personal connections in Colombia before arriving and meeting now your wife? No, I didn't know anybody. I just put myself in Medellin, and I just figured it out. It was, there's a long story, right? I've talked about it in my videos. I may talk about it on another time, but I just found myself in Colombia, pandemic, whatever, and I made my life. Okay, I'm gonna answer a couple more, and then thanks for the super chats, guys. I appreciate that. Daniel, Wes, you think up and coming Asian male actors should start their careers on Telemundo, whether they speak Spanish or not? Funny thing, I've actually thought about trying to like act. I did some acting in college and in high school, and I think it would be really cool for an Asian guy to be on Colombian shows. I think you need to learn Spanish because the audience is obviously Latin, but I think there's going to be a wave of Asian people because Asians are kind of popular right now in the US or in Latin America. Hey Wes, congrats on 10K. Appreciate your videos, man. Awesome, thank you. All right, I see your questions, Lewis, and everything, but I'm gonna get to the call and then I'll answer questions after. All right, T, what's up, brother?
What's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
Good. Nah, we actually met in Manizales.
Wait,
I got you
are
the rice
you on a
cooker.
video call or?
Remember? I got you the rice cooker.
Oh yeah, what's up, Cameron? Right?
Yeah.
What's
Nah,
up, bro? How
but
you doing?
I was just gonna say, I'm obviously we talked about this before. I'm not very Christian at all, so I
Right.
just travel. What I will say though is I actually purchased an apartment in Colombia. So
Oh, nice.
I will tell people this: if you're looking to go to Colombia, the purchase process is very different than the United States. So what I can tell you first is you can't trust any of the real estate agents because they're very
True.
shady. They're kind of like
Yep.
car salesmen, like used car salesmen.
That is
So
true.
if you tell them like the highest price, what happens is they say, okay, I want to pay, let's say, 60 grand to 70 grand. So what they're going to do is they're going to then go tell the seller, hey, he's willing to pay 70 grand. So you actually can't tell people what you're willing to pay. You just got to tell them what you're looking for and say, you know, I can obviously afford it. And usually if you're like an American and gringo, they don't care. They just expect you to be able to afford it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I would say that, you know, if people are looking to move and do things like that and purchase property, you know, if you're in a major city, it's fine. But if you go towards like the fincas and outside that, it's very sketchy with titles because almost all the titles are bad because during the narco ages, you know, there's no clean title because people would just take over property. So in Medellin, Manizales, all these major cities, you're better for title. So those you want to still do the title search. But if you like go to like a more of a pueblo kind of place or like, you know, like an El Bagre or something like that, you know, and you want to buy a piece of property, don't be surprised if the title comes back all jacked up. So that's something to keep in mind.
Where did you buy the property, Cam?
Medellin.
Oh, you did. How much you buy for?
So I redid the whole thing for 70 grand.
And
So
what
lawyers. Say what?
What was the purchase price?
The purchase price I actually paid for was probably like 60, like around 60, 61. And that includes legal, all the other things, transfer taxes, and all that stuff.
Okay, that's pretty good. And which part of Medellin is it? Which part is it?
It's in Robledo.
Ooh, bro, that's a sketchy area.
No, it's not because it's right next to Laureles. So like my area, basically it's right next to a park. So and what I like about it is like we're on the first floor. There's like a pharmacy and everything. So and you know how it is in Colombia. It's super easy to get like, you know, penicillin, all these other things, and the pharmacy has everything. So it's nice when you can just go downstairs if you're not feeling well and just pick it up.
True. It's cheap
but,
too.
But I agree with you that you do need to know Spanish because like in that area, number one, you know, just like you, when I go to like Santa Fe Mall, like you'll literally see like grandmothers like staring at me just because like they're looking at you more like a zoo animal than anything else.
Yeah.
Because they're just confused.
So you have to explain you're Chinese or you're Korean or you're Asian as well.
Yeah, I'm Asian as well. But when you go out there, people just aren't used to it. You know, like they're not really used to seeing Asians. But Asians are very popular in South America in general, like you said. Like for example, like I literally went to this bakery and there's a girl working there, and I think she was probably like she was super young, so I wasn't comfortable with that. She was like probably like 19 or something like that. But like they like Asians so much. Like later on when she
the
found
younger
me,
generation love us, bro. It's
like. This young girl, like, I know she's just like, she found me at some supermarket and she was so excited to see me. She like held me there for like 20 minutes talking to me and stuff like that. Like she wanted to go on a date and everything. So it was kind of awkward for me because she was just, you know, too young. But Asians look young. So, you know, for them, they don't notice. But
that's a good point. Like they look at us as zoo animals, but it's not like,
it's not negative.
It's not racist. It's more like, what the heck?
It's curiosity.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of curiosity.
That's it. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. So like they're very curious, they're very friendly. They just want to know more. You know what I mean? Exactly, and like if you can speak Spanish to them, like oh man, like
it's a
the
big
doors
plus.
open. Like, they're gonna be asking to talk to you.
Are you still with the same girl, the pizza girl?
Yeah.
Nice. Whatever happened to her business? Did you invest in it?
Yeah. No, she still has it.
Nice. How's that? How's the relationship?
It's not bad. It's cool. It's still normal. She lives in the apartment and everything, so it's good. You know,
for sure, bro.
But no, I would say like Colombia for Medellin. I did not like Cartagena as well, but I found it very dirty in general.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like it. Medellin, I can see a lot of times where you're coming from. I've been to Manizales. I've been to Pereira. I've been to like I pretty much went to like all the little cities around the area. Right. Because like a lot of people probably don't, but like you know you probably did as well. Those like buses that you take to the terminals and they're like super cheap. It's like what, like 100 mil pesos or like 200 mil pesos, and you go anywhere, right? And they're actually very efficient, honestly. The only time it's bad is like if along the way there's like a mudslide or like huge traffic access. Which
and from Medellin to Manizales right now, there's a lot of construction. So when they finish the construction, it's like a 4 to 5 hour drive.
Yeah,
But because there's so many stops now, it's like
I know.
freaking 9-8 hours, sometimes 10
I
hours.
know. It's
pain.
brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, it is the buses aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. They're actually still fairly comfortable. I will say that they're clean, so
Yes.
shockingly clean.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I would say is that I remember when, like during the riots when they shut down the airport like tunnel, that sucked
Yeah.
because like your ride from the airport was like it went down from like 40 minutes to like an hour and a half to like 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
So nah, like that's the only thing I would say about Medellin. In general, buying property is like number one, you gotta find a lawyer. But typically, I would tell people to find a lawyer that speaks English because you need to understand. But I will tell you this: lawyers in Colombia, all professionals in Colombia are very different than America. And here's what I'll tell you why. Number one is the culture, but number two is the professionalism, right? So if you look up lawyers, you look up accountants, they're not required to have like masters or anything, or even licenses. All you need to go is a undergraduate. And then when you go to become an undergraduate, you can literally say, I'm just going to learn law. And all of a sudden you're a lawyer after, but you never took a test, nothing. You just went to undergraduate.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like so in Colombia, you see all these lawyers, but like they've never taken an exam. They never like actually went to a law school. They just went to like an undergrad course, and then that's why so many lawyers are so bad, and that's why none of them really know what they're doing. And so it's very hard, and plus they're very slow on the response. So like you really need to ride them like Seabiscuit in order for you to get like the work that you want it done on your timetable, because otherwise they'll like just drag ass forever. And then like that, and the same is true for engineers, accountants, every single profession. There is no like real standard. So it's very different. So when you like go to a lawyer, that's the reason why, like for immigration, for example, if you and David had the same problem, I heard, which is, you know, he trusted someone to do it and he worked with her a few times, but you know, he still got screwed, right? And that's what happened. So when you get anything done from these professionals, lawyers, or you know anything, you need to not only have them do it, but you also need to have them show you proof, and not only see the proof, but you probably need to even call in, just double check that as well. Like you need to go to that extent. And from my experience buying the property, I can tell you that was very important. And another thing that I found interesting when you're buying property is that my lawyers tried to reach out to the seller. Then the seller was not comfortable. The seller was not comfortable giving any information to the lawyer. And one thing I've learned is that when you're buying property and doing things like that, like sometimes they're very westernized and they're very Americanized. So like they're okay with like just sending stuff in overall email. But Colombia, as you know, is a very process and bureaucratic place. So you got to give like their seduja, their passport. You got to get all this personal information. And a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. So they don't feel comfortable giving that information to your lawyer. You need to at least like get together, meet, introduce yourself in person. And you need more of a social building of trust before like you can actually even move forward with the sale.
Yeah.
It's not like the United States, like you did real estate, I'm sure. So so you know in the United States, like we can never meet and it's fine. The closing is done. But in Colombia, that will not work. Like you try doing that and you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get any of the information, not going to get any tax details, any personal IDs or anything like that. So it's it's very different.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Cameron, I'm trying to move on, but thank you so much for the call. That was great information, bro. That was really, really good information. And best of luck, bro. Thanks for calling in.
Later.
See you. Bye. All right. What's up, Matt? You there?
Hey, Wes. Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. So I'll be going to Colombia the next few weeks here. The first time I went there, I did kind of all the local stuff. Not the local stuff, the tourist stuff, kind of community trace and all that. And this time I plan on kind of living the life as a local, because as you know, the whole nomad visa is popping off and everyone's getting excited about that. So I do plan on doing the local stuff, but I had a kind of few concerns with the new president. Is there kind of like a resentment or like, the whole anti-leftist thing going on? Is that happening there in Colombia where people are kind of concerned and stuff like that?
Yeah, good question. So from what I can see, to be honest, Petro has been doing a pretty good job. I don't know how socialist or leftist he is, but the general sentiment that I've seen from him is that he's doing pretty good. He's done a lot of like unorthodox things, I guess, as president, but as far as the country is concerned, I feel like he's doing a pretty solid job. It's hard to say at the moment. We just kind of have to see what happens. But I hate talking about politics as well because it's not my country. I don't follow it. So
right.
That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge on that. But yeah, bro. I think that's as much as I can comment. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, over here in the U.S., as you know, it's kind of like as soon as people say left wing this, it's like, oh man, everyone just goes crazy. I'm in Minnesota here, so it's definitely a left leaning state, and it's really, man, the West is crumbling. Not even gonna lie, I don't even want to sugarcoat it. It's pretty bad here. But another concern of mine is kind of like all the gringos moving to South America, like Brazil and Colombia, and kind of doing the whole gentrification there. I heard it's happening in El Poblado, but did you witnessed anything like that? Kind of like prices increasing? And...
Yeah, it's definitely happening. There's a lot of foreigners coming through now. So I've noticed there's not a lot of gringos outside of La Reales, and actually just most of them were in Poblado, if I'm being honest. But the rising of price, I'm sure you guys have seen it in Airbnbs as well. Airbnbs are a lot more expensive now. And yeah, I don't know, bro. It's yeah, no, I don't know. Medellin is just getting really popular now, so that's what I can say.
Okay. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate your videos, dude. Like, man, dude, congrats on the 10K. Just killing it out there, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm putting out a lot of content right now. Take advantage of the momentum, but I appreciate you watching, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, cheers. All right, bro. Janaldo, I see you. I'm gonna answer some questions. There are a lot of questions. And there was a super chat earlier. Where'd it go? Okay, 1, 2. I think there's another one here. Oh, thanks for the donation, bro. Okay, so there are a ton of questions. I'm gonna try to get as many done as I possibly can. If you want to go to the top, leave a super chat. Leave a like on the video as well. And if you guys want to join the chat, in the description is the link to the live stream if you guys want to hop on and we can have a conversation. Let me see. So what's your biggest advice to not feel lonely and isolated when moving down there? I speak Spanish at a B2, C1 level, but it's always difficult for me to take initiative and go out and discover. That's a you thing, man. If you want to make friends, you got to go out and make friends. They're not going to come to you. And I can say that about any city, any place in the world. You have to put yourself out there, right? I would recommend maybe going to expat groups if you want to hang out with expats. But my biggest advice is always to try to live with Colombians. Find a co-living space where you can hang out with your neighbors, or you're living in the same house, and then they're going to introduce you to their friends. And that's the best way to really get into the culture. I don't think there's any other way really, but yeah, I think Medellin is a very lonely city. It's a very transactional city. And if you go to the smaller towns, I think it's a lot easier to find community. I've heard Cali is really easy to make community there. I hear it's very dangerous. I haven't been to Cali yet, but like Bogota and Medellin are very hard to find community, in my opinion. But general advice, you got to do it yourself, bro. You got to go out there and put yourself out there. What's the best dating app for somebody that doesn't want to go text girls and talk to everybody's on the apps? You got to stay away from dating apps, bro. If you're on dating apps, you're gonna run into these girls all the time. How easy is it to move to Colombia with no Spanish and $15,000 cash? I would love to give it a real go. I'm in my 20s. I went with $4,000 and I survived and I made it work. 15,000 is more than enough. You can use that to live in a year. I would just say find ways to supplement your income. Don't just not work. You have to find a way to make some money, but 15,000 is more than enough. I want to give a shout out to Jonathan. Thanks for always commenting on my videos, bro. I appreciate you a lot. What are some things that your wife does that annoys you and vice versa? I think we just have a lot of like cultural differences. So, her being Colombian and me being Asian, we were born very differently. She's very community oriented. She wants to spend a lot of time with me. She's always like physical touch. She wants like the detalles, because the Latin women usually like that. And for me, I'm a little more like independent, a little colder, more about like my work and providing and stuff, like that Asian mentality. So I'll maybe make a different video about that. We could talk about that because that's kind of a long list and I want to move on. But yeah, that's probably the biggest issue that we have. Medellin is the best and most beautiful city in Colombia, and the city is very safe. All depends of you. I'm living in Chicago, and you have to be careful in what parts of Chicago you go. I disagree. I don't think the city is very safe. It depends on you, but yeah, Medellin is not safe. I don't agree. I worked with a woman from Medellin. She seemed to turn feminine once her husband brought her to the States. I believe that. My girl and I were never moving to the States. just to visit, but to live, no way. Hi Wes, how can one find work in Medellin if not an online diplomat? I said that already earlier. It's a lot harder. You can try to teach English, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. Okay, so I got 4 people in the chat, so I'm going to stream. Janaldo, Vish, you guys don't have your devices connected, so I'm not gonna add you guys. So I'm gonna go to Arno, and then once you guys get your devices connected, we can get going. What's up, brother? Hello, you there? All right, I'm gonna move on to Lorenzo.
Oh, hey, Wes. How you doing?
I'm good, Lorenzo. How are you, brother?
Doing well, doing well. I'm actually about to drive in Nogales right now in Sonora, Mexico. So
okay.
my question is, have you been to Santander or like Toledo, like that area?
Toledo. So like, what Ibagué?
You say what?
Ibagué is, I think, Ibagué is the capital of Toledo, if I'm
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not. I think I may have passed through there, but no, I haven't spent time there yet, unfortunately. Why do you
Okay.
ask?
Where am I at?
Sorry, no. Why do you ask?
Oh, my ex is from Santander, so I wanted to understand like more so like I guess like that background, like looking on like, okay, what was that area like? What are the people like? For my experience, she was very reserved, more very traditional, from my experience. And then also would be Guajira, I guess on the coast. What has your experience been going over there and being around the coast?
For the coast, I've only been to Cartagena, and we went as tourists, so I didn't really get to interact with the locals. So unfortunately, I don't know too much about that, and I don't want to give bad advice. So sorry, bro.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And enjoy the rest of your day, man. Love the
Thank you.
videos.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Okay, so I want to answer this question. I think it's funny. I heard there are a lot of Cardi B's in Medellin. That, from what I've seen, is correct. All right, this question: why do you refer to your wife as your girl? I don't know how should I refer. That's kind of a stupid question. I knew I heard a Jamaican accent. Wes just talked about it. Hola Mario, ¿qué más? ¿Todo bien? What's going on? Hey Wes, are you from the 626? Yep, Hacienda Heights. Arno, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
Here.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Well, I just joined the chat in the beginning anyway. So I have a question about cash. I'm gonna be going to Medellin in October.
Okay.
Should I bring a lot of cash or just use the ATM at the city?
I would use the ATMs. If you have a travel debit card, I don't know if you have one, but I would go with BBVA is the best bank to withdraw money from. You can only withdraw 300 mil at a time, but it doesn't have any fees, and you just go and just keep withdrawing. That's the best way to do it. I wouldn't recommend bringing cash, a lot of cash, to be honest. I would just try to withdraw from the ATM.
All right. I just it applies also the euro or dollars. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No.
And like card types, Visa, Maestro, also doesn't matter. Visa or Maestro.
Say that again. I didn't understand.
The cards, the bank cards, Visa or Maestro, or doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. I'm not sure. I use a Charles Schwab card, which is a Visa, but I think MasterCard here is available too. But I know Visa is definitely available here.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Cheers, bro. Have a good day. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Hey, what up?
How you doing? Yeah.
You have like any favorite spots that you recommend in Medellin? Or?
Yeah. So I'm gonna I have a new video coming out in a week about Medellin. I recommend going to Parque del Rio. It's one of the most beautiful spots there. Parque RV is pretty cool because you have a like it's pretty much in nature. You can take the cable car. It's like 20 minutes to get there. And Comuna 13 honestly is very overrated in my opinion. I didn't enjoy it that much. What else? Yeah, Estadio is really nice. Laureles is super nice. I think Laureles is way better than Poblao. Poblao is, when I went, honestly, was really trashy. And yeah, just hang out with the locals and see where they take you. I would recommend doing that.
Or homestay or
Yeah, homestay. Try to live with some locals and see how that goes.
yeah. How much is an arepa over there? Just
Is that what? Arepa?
yeah.
Like mil pesos, like 20, 30 cents, 40 cents.
What? That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because over here I'm paying like $7, and if you want something else on it, it's like an
That's
extra
crazy.
$3 or
That's
$4.
crazy, bro. Arepas are not that expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah, here it's the complete opposite. Like if you want like bandeja paisa, it's like $15 now.
Yeah, it's like a novelty thing, I imagine. But did you have any other questions, Chris?
Yeah. I was like, the conversion rates, are they easier to like 1 million pesos is like what $1,000 or
No, 1 million pesos is like 250. You divide by 4.
oh fuck.
Cool. All
Thanks.
right, brother. Yeah, catch you later, man. I'll move on to the next person. Cheers, bro. Yeah, and I'll see you next time we do a consultation, bro. Peace out. What's up, Ben? How you doing?
Doing all right. I want to know, you just mentioned something about consultation. So do you have a website?
No, you just message me on Instagram or send me an email, and then we can schedule something. I'm pretty low key about it, and then yeah, we can schedule something for the week. I have like a schedule that we can do.
Oh, is it the same name? Where's Wes?
On Instagram, it's Wes Leezy, Wes Leezy, and then my email is using this for spam 283@gmail.com. And I'll put those in the description too. Thanks for sharing.
And the one of the gentlemen mentioned MasterCard or Visa. I know those are generally accepted worldwide, MasterCard and Visa. How about American Express? Because that's generally not as accepted.
I think some parts may. Oh, what? I think some parts are. I don't want to change the time. I think some parts are, but I've seen a lot with American Express, but I think Visa and MasterCard is like the safer bet. But honestly, I haven't paid a lot of attention to that. All my cards are Visa, and they always work.
Great. So if you have for a first time visitor to Colombia, which town would you suggest first? And if you're staying for a couple weeks, let's say 2 weeks, how much money should a person bring?
Okay, so what do you want to do here in Colombia? What is your purpose?
I'm into photography, so sightseeing is important, and I want to avoid the touristic trap as much as possible. You know.
Okay, cool.
Just doing what dangerous.
I would recommend, honestly. I mean, what's your level of Spanish? Can you speak Spanish or no?
Español, bueno, pero podría mejorar.
Okay. I think you get by. Your accent's pretty good. So I would recommend. That's hard to say. If you want like photography and stuff, I would honestly try to go to the beaches. Maybe like Cartagena, Santa Marta. Medellin is cool, but if you have a camera out, bro, honestly, I would not recommend you taking your camera out in most places in Medellin. Or Bogota, really. So I mean, if you're going for 2 weeks. Damn, that's a hard question. Like, do you want to go to the beach? Do you want to go to like a big city? Do you want to go to the smaller cities? What's the goal?
Big city, as long as it's not tourist trap, that's fine.
All of them are kind of, except for Bogota, in my opinion, they're all kind of touristy. Like Cartagena and Medellin are very touristy.
So I've heard you say a lot of to avoid Medellin as much as possible. So I'm guessing Bogota and Cartagena would be your better bet.
Yes. Yeah. I would recommend those 2 cities. And then if you want to go to Medellin, but I don't know, man. In my opinion, I think Medellin's overrated. I know people are gonna hate me for that, but I think that's true.
Is Cali overrated in your opinion? Because I heard there's a lot of.
I haven't been. I heard originally that Cali was very unsafe, but I've heard so many people in my comments talking about how Cali is great, how the women are the most beautiful there. From my personal experience, being in Medellin, I actually thought the darker skinned women were more attractive as well. But I haven't been to Cali yet, so that's I mean, it's probably personal preference. But yeah, I would check out Cali and tell me what you think about that.
All right, because those are one of those places that were mentioned to me, like San Andres for the beaches and stuff like that, and also Cali and Barranquilla. So
Yeah, bro.
All right.
Hey, thanks for the call, man.
All right. I'll follow up with you.
See, cool. Yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram or send me an email. We can set something up.
All right.
Catch you later, bro. Bye. Cool. All right, there's nobody else in the stream, so I'm gonna go through the questions. If you guys want to hop on the stream, in the description is the link to hop on here. Okay. A lot of churches in Colombia are a way not to pay taxes. As simple as that. Sure. Those of you who are not Colombian citizens asking about finding a job in Colombia are going to find it a very hard ask. You will need to find work in an international. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I'm Eastern Orthodox, but I may be open to going to a Catholic church or maybe a Reformed church. Cool. Jimbo Slice, how are things? Good. Marriage is good. Life is good. YouTube channel is good. I just need to focus on selling the restaurant right now. I want to sell it to somebody in Medellin who wants to open a restaurant. It doesn't have to be Asian or Nihao, but I'm gonna sell all the equipment and try to sell it to someone who wants to do business in Medellin. But yeah, that's on my plate. And our honeymoon's in a month, so pretty excited about that. What's it like being East Asian Chinese in Colombia? I've made a couple videos on that, so you guys can watch those. It's pretty awesome. I think that, we're obviously different, but they're not really racist. They're just very curious. We'll be in Colombia next week for the first time. Is Santa Marta a good starting point? Yeah, I would say so. Santa Marta's at the top, and then you can just make your way down to the capital cities. Is Cali safe? I have to leave Mexico September 27th, and I'm not sure where to go. My friends say Rio de Janeiro is dangerous. Thanks. I've actually heard Cali is pretty dangerous. I haven't been personally, but I think Medellin and Bogota are pretty dangerous as well, to be honest. So I don't know if Cali is worse. Excuse me. Colombian pesos are so weak against the USD right now. How has this affected you? Mostly in a positive way. So in a negative way, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to sell my restaurant, because I'm like, I make more money with less effort doing YouTube and music. So that was the big thing. But it's been nice because just the dollar strong is always good. It's crazy because when I first came to Medellin or in Colombia, the prices were a lot lower, but the inflation has caught up. So even though the dollar has grown, prices of most things have, for us, stayed the same. A year and a half ago, it was a lot favorable for us when the peso went up to like 4,000. But now when I arrived, it was like 30,300. And I feel like prices are still kind of the same with the inflation, because inflation in Colombia right now is really, really bad. Okay. I don't have Cash App, but I have Venmo and PayPal, and they're both West Leezy. Oh man, I wish I can change it. I'll put it I'll put it later. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the next speaker. Dang, I gotta do it later. Okay. Chris, what's up, bro?
Hey, how's it going, Wes?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good.
Cool. What's your question? What do you want to talk about?
How is money? Because I live in Bucaramanga.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I would love to ask you some questions about that.
Yeah, I like Bucaramanga because it's not like Medellin. I feel like when you go to Medellin, there's gringos everywhere.
Bro, I know. What's the experience in Bucaramanga like? I've heard a lot about it. I've wanted to visit. What's the experience like there?
I feel like it's definitely underrated. Like, not a lot of people know about it, but it's like a beautiful city. Like, it's called Ciudad Bonito, like literally beautiful city because of how good the climate is and how the buildings are, and the people are really chill as well as Medellin. But
awesome.
It's definitely not as overrated as Medellin, Cartagena, and everything is cheaper compared to
nice.
Bogota.
Yeah, that's what I heard. How much cheaper is it? What's the price difference?
Like in Bucaramanga, as like for like rent or
yeah, or just like here in Manizales, right? The price difference of everything is like 25-30% cheaper than it is in Medellin. So is it like that, or is it even cheaper, you think?
I would say it's about 20%.
Okay, cool.
Cheaper.
Nice. How much you paying for rent?
Right now, I live in a building. I live like it's called a penthouse, but it's not really, I don't know. It's not really a penthouse, but it comes furnished. I'm paying 2.5 million, which might be pretty expensive, but it's like in Poblado of Bucaramanga, so it's
Yeah,
like,
which is like relatively actually pretty cheap because in Poblado it'll probably cost you like 3.2, 3.4, right?
yeah, I've seen insane prices. If you look at the expat groups, like
Cool.
like really expensive ass apartments. But here everything is cheaper. That's why.
Nice, bro. Cool. So yeah, what were you asking me? How's Manizales?
Yeah, I was thinking of like going on a trip for a month or two to 'cause
Okay.
ever since I came to Colombia, I never left like Bucaramanga because I liked it so much.
Nice.
But I was thinking of going to Ojo Cafetero, like Pereira,
Okay, yeah.
Manizales.
Yeah, I recommend going to the three big cities, Pereira, Armenia, and stopping in Manizales. They're all different. Armenia is a lot flatter. The population is darker because it's closer to like Cali and Choco. And there's a lot more Moreno people there, but it's a lot more spread out. Pereira is very similar to Medellin, but I felt like the weather is similar, but in my opinion, I didn't like the vibe there. I made a video about that, got a lot of hate for that, but I wasn't a fan. And Manizales is up in the mountains, so the views are like more mountains. The weather's a little colder, but the people like are like true Paisa people, in my opinion.
Is it like is Pereira Americanized like Medellin is?
What do you mean?
Like is there like a lot of foreigners there in
No,
Pereira?
there's not a lot of foreigners in Pereira because it's it's still pretty like Colombian, so nobody there really speaks English. But as far as like culture goes, the way the women are, there's a lot of operated women there. And it's the culture and the weather is very similar to Medellin, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I have to check that out.
Cool, bro.
Yeah.
You got any other questions or?
No, that was all. Congratulations on.
Thank you, man.
Driver.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by.
All right.
Cool. What's up, brother? How you doing? Give me 1 sec. I need to pee. We'll talk. I need to pee.
Hey, I'm just gonna put this camera off me.
All right, I'm back. So if you guys don't mind giving the stream a like, and if you guys want to call in, in the description there's the link. If you guys want to hop on the call and have a conversation, and yeah, Orales, how do you pronounce your name?
Orias. Everybody messes it up, dude. It's all, you never want to be the guy that somebody goes ahead and goes pee on, while you're on the show. But it's all good. We still cool.
Awesome, bro. I apologize, man. I've never seen that name before in my life, so.
It's better than you being on the stream and then streaming on you. So anyway, yeah, man. Hey, first off, you'll see my comment down there. Really appreciate your channel. You've been doing some really good things, man. And actually, I started following. I started watching, little bits as I started to learn Spanish and stuff like that. So some of your advice is really, really good on and stuff. I'm looking to like move to Colombia in a couple of years when I'm retired from the military.
Cool.
And Medellin's it. So I guess my question is, just trying to understand infrastructure wise, how does mail work? How does like mail, Amazon, all that stuff? How does that work?
So Amazon is tricky because you can ship it to your place, but a lot of times they'll charge you import fees or like $30, $40 shipping. But mail has always arrived to me pretty good here in Manizales. I've only received like a couple of care packages from my mom and a couple of documents from my mom, but it's always arrived good on time. But like for Amazon doesn't really exist here the way it does in the States. So that's one of the downsides about Colombia. We don't have that convenience.
Yeah, I used to live overseas. I lived in Japan and in the Middle East for 4 years, and it was a lot easier because and have the infrastructure in place. But that's things I was kind of like, a lot of my questions throughout my research have been good, have been answered, you know, but that's one of the things that if I need like anything from online, I want to see how convenient it would be. But I didn't have a whole lot, man. That's one thing I've been trying to get answered, but continue doing the great work that you're doing, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, cheers, bro. See ya. All right, there's nobody else in the line that for the stream. So if you guys want to hop on, you're more than welcome to come on, and then I'm gonna answer questions until someone else comes through. Okay, so are ginger people popular in Colombia? I mean, it's not a big deal. So the thing with Colombia, right, is like people don't really focus on race like we do in the States. And the cool thing about that is because like Colombia is just a very diverse culture. There are a ton of black people, there are a ton of white people, and a lot of interracial relationships. So most people here just mix, and most people are like 1,000 shades of brown. So I mean, I have a ginger friend actually who's Colombian, but I wouldn't say he's popular. He's just like a regular Colombian dude. This one is Cali good? I haven't been. I can't say. Which area is safer to live? Remote work or retire in Colombia, Bogota or Medellin? Depends on what you like. Bogota is more of a city. I would say infrastructure-wise, Bogota is very similar to Los Angeles. Culture-wise, Bogota is very similar to New York. Medellin, the way it is, it's very similar to like Miami and I guess some parts of LA for the weather. And culture-wise, it's very similar to Los Angeles and Miami. Which is safer to live? It depends on where you stay. Honestly, I think Bogota is a little safer. When I went to Medellin, I wasn't a fan, and I wasn't. Oh, I went. Okay, yeah. You guys gotta watch the Medellin videos I'm making. I talk about it all, but I actually felt safer in Bogota than I did in Medellin. Let him know if she lives in the apartment for over 2 years together, she's entitled to half the apartment if they break up. We're not breaking up, bro. We're never breaking up. Is safe and girls are open-minded. Medellin, I went out with 7 girls and got nothing. I don't know how to answer that. Cali, family-oriented city. Women are super friendly. I went to Harding Plaza. I got 3 numbers when salsa dancing. Cool. Foreigners should be banned from buying property in any country. All right, bro. Steve the wife beater. Steve the wall beater. Good to see my Asian brothers traveling, exploring. Thanks, bro. Living in America, I'm getting tired. Okay, this. Yep. That's funny. I want to say Chinese are greedy just like Indians. They know it, so it's not a recent comment. To be real, bro, I don't think you're wrong. I'm Chinese, and doing business with other Chinese people is very sketchy. When I was selling real estate, Chinese people were always the worst to work with. So you're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong. Asian men are less attractive. Yeah, that's fucking false. Oh my god. Please saying that Petro is socialist because he's not. Okay. Was starting up your business expensive, Wes? I'm thinking about moving there in like a year. To start it, I spent $5,000 originally to open the first spot, which was like in a food plaza. When I moved it to its own location, I put 10,000 more. And then I think in total for the restaurant with like publicity, everything that I added, I spent about 20 grand. But I am looking to sell the restaurant now to somebody who wants to open a restaurant in Medellin. And I think I'm going to sell it for around 10,000. So that's how the money works out. Okay, I'm gonna get this. I don't want any of this. I see you, Wes. Give me 1 second. I want to answer some of these. There's a lot of questions. And then I'm gonna get to it. Yo, what's up? What's up? She farts in her stuff. All right, bro. You're out of here. All right. What's up, Wes? How you doing?
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Are you Australian?
Actually, I'm called. No, I'm British. Sorry, I'm called Wes as well. I'm not copying your name. I promise.
That's cool. It's cool, man. Yeah.
First off, yeah, congratulations on 10K and I guess the recent wedding as well. You look really happy, so I'm really glad that you're enjoying life in Manizales and everything. Yeah, I guess I wanted to ask, like, so it's been a few years since you made the move, and your life comparatively now. I've watched you for about a year, maybe a year and a half or so, and your life comparatively now, in a lot of aspects, is entirely like the polar opposite to the life you lived in the US, I guess. Did you sort of see yourself before you moved did you see your life changing that much, or what was your expectation before you moved? Did you see yourself in the back of your head thinking about, you know, reconnecting with God, for example, or
Right.
you know, if you just said to your previous self, you know, 3 years ago, you're going to be married at this stage, you know, would you believe yourself or no? I'm just quite interested to see.
Yeah. So I think this is a great question. I think we're all a product of our environment. I've always been conservative, but growing up in LA, it's very difficult to be conservative there. So I've
Okay.
always kind of had I think I was always in a battle of what society was telling me to do and how I really was. The cool thing about Colombia and why I've changed so much in this last year is I feel like here in Manizales, I found a place that accepts my values for what I really feel. You know, I'm in a very Christian community that believes in traditional values, you know. And if I'm being honest, I feel like those are the values that I've always believed. But I guess I don't know if afraid is the word. I don't know if like sharing your opinions if you're conservative in many parts of the West is kind of like I don't know if you're conservative, but I feel like I just received a lot of hate for like unnecessarily. And I think the liberalness in the West right now is too strong. I feel like the media is very one-sided. They say they're unbiased, but it's very clearly one-sided. So I didn't think my life was going to change that much, to be honest. But I think when God gave me the sign to come to Colombia and all the things that happened, I think he just had a purpose for me here. And coming here to Manizales, finding my wife, everything was all divine purpose. And I think now just getting closer to God, I'm getting closer to his purpose that he had for me. I feel like if you see my content now versus before, there's like I talk about different things, and I feel like I'm matured a lot. I don't know. That's a hard question because I think that how could you have like predicted that, right? Like how my life ended up. There's no way to predict that. You just kind of have to live.
But I
life
guess a lot
around.
of people that make a big move like that, for example, they're looking for change in their life, and like in the back of your head, maybe you might have thought, you know, something is quite drastic as, you know, going to church frequently and marrying someone that's quite, you know, as Christian as you are now as well. In the back of your head, you might have sort of, you know, processed that as something needs to change massively, you know, my morals and the way I live my life.
Yeah.
But were you sort of honest about yourself before you moved that it might be an option to become sort of a much more Christian than you were? Or
Yeah. Are you Christian, Wes?
so I grew up, I went to a Christian school in the UK.
Okay.
And I spent most of my teenage years sort of atheist, but now I'm kind of agnostic. And it's quite funny you say that because I'm seeing a Bolivian girl at the minute, and her family are very religious. She goes to church like 4 times a week. And I haven't been to church for years and years. And I'm trying to get a visa I'm in the process of getting a visa to live there for 3 years now.
Cool.
And so that'll be interesting to see how that, you know, that conversion culture connects really, which I'm quite excited to look forward to.
How old are you, Wes?
I'm 23. I actually lived in Colombia for 8 months from November onwards. Literally, I used your videos as a sort of guide. But I actually messaged you about a year ago on Instagram asking for your tips and stuff.
I think remember. Is your last name Paul?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do remember.
And yeah, you were very helpful. So cheers for that. Thank you very much. It was very useful.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
So I was in Colombia for a while, and then I'm trying to get Bolivia. I'm in Ecuador at the minute, and I'm getting my lawyer to put a Bolivian visa up for me, which will be good. I'm excited for.
Awesome, bro. So the thing with faith, right? When I was younger, I think I went through an atheist phase too, and then I became agnostic. But I was always a part of the church. I was a professional pianist for 5 years before I came. I always played in Catholic churches and Christian churches.
I was in the choir.
Nice, bro. You look like a choir boy.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers. So the thing with religion, right? I always was kind of looking for God. I went to a few Christian churches back in the States. I think the older you get, the more you understand the importance of religion. And what I mean by that is like as you start to look at family, right? You start to look at the values that the world is promoting to us. Yeah. I feel like I lived that life, right? I was sleeping with women. I went out to party. You know, I tried, I tried living the life that the world teaches us to live. And I always found myself very empty and unhappy. Okay. And as soon as I got more into the Bible and I started reading it, I realized there's a lot of misinterpretations that the world likes to make about the Bible, how Christians need to act. One of the most comments that I get when I make my opinion videos is that you as a Christian, don't you need to be accepting of everybody because that's what Jesus would do? And I'm like, no, that's not correct. If you read the Bible, God is he's a harsh God. If you look at the Israelites and that whole entire story, man, the Israelites were punished through a lot. And then Jesus, he was accepting of people, yes, in the fact that he talked to prostitutes, he talked to the Romans and everything, but he was very vocal about all the bad things that were happening too. So, the deeper I get into my faith and the more that like Proverbs is just bars all day, man. It talks about women, it talks about relationships, it talks about friendships, and it talks about being a man. And as I start to read that and apply that in my life, I realized there were a lot of truths in the Bible that the world seems to be hiding now, right?
Okay.
So, with you, hopefully, if you find God through Christianity or Islam or whatever, that'd be great. But I think the older that we get, the more we understand and appreciate we need to find purpose in our life. And a lot of people are looking through that through like money, through women, through cars. But if you really think about it and you live that life, it gets old very quick. And I think that's why I've really gotten close to my faith, because I find myself the happiest I've ever been in my life. And with with a good woman, a Christian woman. And it's funny, I think a lot of people are looking for a traditional woman, but they're not traditional themselves, So I think a part of my growth and transformation, I had to live a more Christian life, a more conservative life, and then my wife came into my life.
Yeah. Another sort of observation about your channel I'd make is that it's really refreshing. I mean, as you said in your opinion videos, you get a bit of backlash, and I've seen that myself as well.
Yeah.
And like the one about Andrew Tate recently you made. I mean, I absolutely hate Andrew Tate personally, and I'm not a raging liberal. I'm
For sure.
my head's,
Yeah, that's
normal
fair.
color. But I'm just not a fan of Andrew Tate at all. I mean, the way he talks about women, some of his views, but it's all a character, to be fair. I mean, he's very open about that. He's playing a persona to appeal to that target audience, where 30% of people worship him, 70% hate him, but he's making bank off the 30%. So,
I actually think
business model.
I feel like it's closer to 50-50, bro. I wouldn't say it's 30-70. I think it's 50-50.
I guess it's your circle as well, though,
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
But like, so as I said, it's quite refreshing for you to, voice your opinions. And I hate the word cancelled as well, woke culture and stuff, but you voice your opinions and it's what you mean as well. You're not hiding it, you're not saying things for views.
Exactly.
And it's just so refreshing to see. So, big up from that, to be fair. But I mean, as I said, I did mess you about it. I would disagree on a lot of the things. We would disagree on quite a few things, I think. Again, not particularly left wing, not particularly right wing. I'm sort of in the middle somewhere, which is a nice balance, I think. But
sure, yeah.
Again, with the sort of it's down to your wife's opinion as well, I guess. When you were saying about being a provider and you're that typical masculine Christian role. I mean, again, it's sort of agreement between the two of you. But if, for example, I guess you wouldn't look for a woman that didn't want to be in that role, submissive role.
Exactly. Yeah.
But for example, if you were, flashback a year, for example, before you met Anna, if you met a girl that didn't want to be submissive and things like that, and didn't want to accept the traditional roles and was a bit more progressive, would you just sort of not see yourself entering a serious relationship at all in that case?
I've dated all those girls all my life until I met my wife, and we always clashed because my personality, I feel like I'm a very masculine guy, and when I date a masculine woman, the sex is great, but we always fight about everything,
Okay.
And that's how I knew that it would never work for me personally, right? So I'm not saying that like I like what you said, how it was an agreement that I had with my wife. And I think for my personality, my wife and I, our relationship works because her personality and my personality match. She has a lot of friends that are Christian as well, but a little more, I wouldn't say feminist, but a little more dominant. And I would never be able to be in a relationship like that because for my personality, we would just fight all the time.
So as long as you can respect that, I guess, and if they're happy with their partner and their partner is happy with the roles they have in their relationship.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's a fair point. Everybody's relationship is different, right? So when I talk about my relationship, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I never try to come from the point of view as like, I think this is like everybody should do this, right? But it's more of like trying to offer something that's different and refreshing because I think nowadays it's all on the opposite side, right? Just like the 50-50 partnership, women and men should be equal. The feminist movement has gotten a lot of what's the word, like force. So it's more about trying to offer another opinion. And in my opinion, I think that like after I had a red pill phase as well. I actually think that this is where we're the most happy. And if you take away like all the comforts of modern life, and we lived like okay, let's say medieval times, right, where we had to fight for our survival. I think most people end up going to the gender roles anyways. What do you think?
Okay. I mean, I guess it's the sort of balance of, it's the same with me. I don't know if you read the book Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, but it's the idea of like capitalism and the sort of collective agreement of banking and finance and stuff has propelled humanity for thousands of years now, where we all agree on certain systems. And the patriarchy is one of them. Humanity's still around, and arguably the West is doing well. The world comparatively to 2,000 years ago has improved greatly because of things like the patriarchy. And I mean, again, I'm not a raging feminist, nor am I a massive capitalist. But you have to agree that some systems have been in place for years because they work, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're flawed. They're not flawed, sorry. And I think there is obviously room for stuff like, I don't know if you believe in, but I certainly am an advocate for, equal rights and stuff like the wage gap and things like that needs to be sorted. But there is a sort of on the flip side, again, I'm not saying I'm too left or too right, but if it's worked for this long and humanity's succeeded this far on those systems, to a certain extent they must be working.
Okay,
and
so
how that's
yeah,
reflected in modern society obviously is down to interpretation.
So my opinion on that is that I love this conversation. Great, this is great stuff. So my opinion on that is I think like there's a reason why if you go to every single culture in the world, it's always a patriarchal system. And we've done that for 2,000 years. I feel like it's only in the last, of all time. Yeah, I think it's only in the last like 50, 40 years in the West that we've kind of tried to like make this new idea of how it should be, right? I look at the world right now.
Just to interrupt then. Sorry, Wes. But on the flip side, I guess you got like historically, for example, white people have been superior to during the slave trade have been superior to those of color, basically. And 70 years ago in the US, black people had appalling rights, basically. So I mean, there's progress and society progressing, and it's not saying it's all positive, but the majority, in my opinion, so far since look back in the 60s in your country, in your home country, for example, has been overwhelmingly positive for women, for people of color, minorities. So
I would half agree with that. I think the problem is that we've overcorrected. I agree with you on equal rights. I agree with you on the wage gap, but I think now it's gotten past the point of equality, and more it's also like there's an attack on masculinity in the West. And I think that's the biggest problem that I've seen, because I look at societies, right? When I was younger and I saw that China and the Middle East, they didn't want American values invading their thing. I always thought like, oh, it's because they're oppressive or whatever the West was teaching us. But I look at the world nowadays, the West and China are the Muslims in China are taking over the world. And I think a large part of that is because they've kept the traditional family values. It's all about doing things for the family, having a lot of kids. The men are out working and providing. The women are at home attending to the kids. Because I look at the States right now, right? And sure, yeah, we've made a lot of progress, I guess, socially, but we have broken families everywhere. How many single moms do we see everywhere? Women hate men. They would rather like get married to the state and have a kid by themselves and be with a man. And I see like the things that are happening in the West right now, and I don't know if that's better. So I guess I hear what you're saying, that we kind of needed this push to put a lens on all the problems that we have in like the West. But I don't know. I think it's gotten to a point where we overcorrected, and I can't agree with the new progress being made.
Okay, just one last question, if I can. I don't want to take up too much of your time, honestly.
Yeah. Great conversation, bro.
So looking sort of back to when you first arrived in Medellin, I guess it was pre-pandemic back in those days. Is it quite weird or strange, or what sort of emotions do you feel looking back at the Wes that was when you first got to Medellin? Everything was new and fresh, and as you said, you were seeing whoever, all the girls you were seeing or whatever.
Right.
And how has your sort of personality and your character and the way you think of yourself changed from that point to where you are now?
Yeah, I think damn, that's a good question. When I first arrived to Medellin,
pretty deep.
No. When I first arrived to Medellin, I felt like I was a pretty confident person, but it's not until now, after all the life that I lived, that I'm truly more confident in what I've done. Right. So let me tell you what. So as a young man, a lot of times when we haven't made it yet, we do this like fake it till we make it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think as a young man, I had that young man confidence. I was pretty good with women, whether it's my game or how I look or whatever. I was pretty confident about that. And then just living in Medellin, making a new life for myself, learning a new language, starting a business, doing this YouTube channel, and my music career doing well right now. Now I can say that I earned that confidence. And that's why I'm more like chill now, whereas when I first arrived in Medellin, I was a little more all over the place and I didn't really know what my values were. So yeah, that's a really tough question. I feel like that's a whole.
Sorry, I'll apologize.
No, I love these deep questions, bro. This is some really, really powerful stuff. I don't know. I think that as I grow, I share my opinions very vocally, but I've learned that at different points in my life, I believe different things, and I think a large part of my audience, like when I was in Medellin and living that life, compared to how I'm at now, I think a lot of my audience relates to different parts of my life and my growth as a man, you know?
Okay.
And the different things I go through. So I would love to see your story in like 4 or 5 years when you're 25, 27. And I think you're gonna see a lot of growth as well, you know?
Okay.
And I think when you live in Bolivia as well, a lot of these, I would say you're more centrist left. A lot of these ideas are gonna change once you see how other societies live and the values that other
Bolivia is a socialist country, to be fair. They're sort of rooted in Christianity, but they're very socialist too, which is quite.
And that'd be a really interesting experience too. You know, who knows what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, I mean, well, thanks for your time. Congratulations again.
Wes, thanks for the questions, bro. That was a great conversation.
We'll start a podcast if you want, bro. The Wescast. Give me a shout if you want to.
That'll be cool, man.
Thank you,
Take care,
have a good afternoon. Cheers.
Thanks, man. You too, man. All right, cool. I'm gonna go through some more questions. There's a lot of chat, so I need to go through it. If you guys want to hop on the call, in the description, there's a link, and it's around an hour 20. So we'll see how long it goes, how many calls I have, but I might end it soon. So, hey, Wes. Okay, this question was a good question. How bad is inflation in Colombia? Will cause more women to sell their bodies? So I'm just gonna answer the first one. Inflation's been really bad in terms of food. Food has gone up like 20%. And it's I'm seeing it a lot. My employees have complained about it. My girl's family has complained about it, and I feel like that's been the most damage. I don't know what's really caused it, but after like January of this year, food has gone up significantly, and that's the thing that I've noticed. Hugo, my family and I are planning to relocate to Manizales. I have a 12-year-old son because I don't like North American values. Do you think it's the right move? Thank you. Depends on you. Depends on what you want to teach your son. Depends on your level of Spanish as well. In my opinion, Colombia has their problems, but the thing that they get right is the importance of family. And if you want to raise a family here, I think this is the best place to do it. I don't know about Bogota and Medellin, but I think Manizales for me, with my Christian values, is the best place to raise a family. What's up, Dustin? Sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem, Wes. How's it going, man?
It's good, brother. It's good. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I actually saw your video you posted on the Asia Hustle Network a while back. The video about you like trying to learn Spanish, and I thought you were crazy, man. I was like, dude, this guy is just gonna move to Colombia and try to learn Spanish, and here you are, fluent in Spanish. You marry a Colombian, and so proud of you. That's so great. Like just seeing the change, and like I don't know when I saw that video, maybe like a year ago, but I was like, wow. So I started binging your videos, and then I realized that wait, I recognize that guy from another video from the Asian Hustle Network. So that's where I recognize you. So I'm like, wow, see where you are right now. Congrats.
Thank you, Dustin, man. Thank you. Thanks for that, man. That was really nice of you.
Yeah. So quick question for you. I want to learn Spanish. I've been saying that for years too, but I never made the effort to actually learn it. I do want to move to Mexico in the next 6 months. So I'm trying to give myself like a hard deadline, like plan out for 6 months. Yeah. But it's better to move there with a better speaking Spanish than trying to learn there. What do you recommend in terms of trying to learn Spanish now to prep myself? Because I know it's better to learn it when you're in the country that speaks Spanish, right? But
exactly, yeah. To be honest, bro. Okay, so I would follow my YouTuber friend. His name is Mike Ben. I don't know if you've seen his videos. He's a guy who lives in Atlanta, and he learned Spanish at home. And in a year, versus when I learned in a year, he learned, we were almost at the same level. Of course, I was a little better being around it, but his Spanish was impressive. So it's possible. I would look at his channel to see what he recommends. But if I'm being honest, bro, it's hard when you're not living in the country that speaks that language. The biggest thing is practice. And if you're living at home, you don't have access to a lot of consistent practice. So what I would recommend, try to do an hour, 2 hours a day, but you need to be speaking it all the time. In my opinion, this is going to sound cruel. I don't think you're going to get it done in the deadline just because it's hard unless you're there. So I would recommend trying to learn as many basics as possible. Follow Mike Ben's channel, see what he did, and then come to Mexico with basics and try to live with people. And then you'll learn a lot more in your first 2 months in Mexico than you will in your 6 months at home. I can almost guarantee that.
True. I saw your latest video comparing Mexico to Colombia. Yeah. And I totally agree with like everything you said in that video. Would you consider moving to Mexico? Because I know the food culture is more diverse. You can get more food. It's more international.
Excuse me. No, I want to visit, but I wouldn't move there just because my girl and I were already thinking about family. Yeah. And family's around the corner, and we want to raise our kids here in Manizales. It's because her support system is here, her church is here, our church is here, her mom is here, and I wouldn't feel right taking her away from that. So we would travel maybe for a little bit, but settling down here is the way to go for now.
I see.
Yeah.
So when you started your move to Colombia, I know you had some problems with your dad, and it's been resolved now. Everything is good now. But what was the breaking point that you decided to just like packed up and go? And did you feel like you were prepared when you left, or you just decided that moment and you went and then you just roll with it and now it worked out? But do you feel like you were prepared in any way?
Here's the thing about human nature. I feel like when we're too comfortable, it's very difficult to make a drastic decision like that. I think God's plan for me was that he wanted me. I needed a very traumatic event in order for me to make a very drastic decision. So with my dad, right, we fought a lot. It's because my dad he has a lot of issues with his father as well. And then actually last year, because my grandpa suffered from Alzheimer's for the last 10 years, and then he unfortunately died last year. And I think my dad has a lot of regret for his relationship with his dad, because my dad got kicked out of his house when he was 15 because he had problems with his dad. So I think there was a lot of unresolved issues there. And it took me leaving to Colombia for him to realize, all the stuff that he was repeating from his dad, that funny enough, I find myself repeating from my dad, right? Yeah. So when we were fighting a lot and I made the decision to move, the original plan was I was going to go on a cruise and be a pianist for that. I had a contract signed up. And then I was going to come to Colombia for a month and a half, and then come back when I needed to leave. The cruise contract got canceled at the end. And I was like, shit, what am I going to do? Ended up being a blessing because of COVID. And then I got stuck here for the pandemic. So I was just like, I'm just going to make my life here. And when the pandemic was kind of over, I was already here in Manizales. I met my new friends, my girl. So life just kind of worked out for me. So I guess all this to say, like with my dad, him and I, we were able to mend things because of two reasons. The first one is because when I got the girl pregnant in Medellin, I was scared, bro. I was like, dang, what am I going to do? I'm not ready to be a dad. How am I going to provide for my family? And then it made me realize my dad was thinking about that when he had us as well. So it made me understand his point of view a lot more. And then I apologized to him after that whole pregnancy scare. I was like, I just want to say that I appreciate you, everything that you've done. You were a good dad. And even though we had our disagreements, looking back, my sister and I came out pretty good. So even though I had a lot of issues with him, I could appreciate all the things he's done now that I'm going to have my own family. And then the second thing was, I think my dad realized as well all the things that he did with the distance, and he apologized to me. And the wedding was like the perfect event for us to make up. So it was nice.
Yeah, it's really great seeing that kind of expression coming from an Asian family. Usually we're not that expressive, but for you to be able to have that relationship with your dad now, I think that drastic move you made worked out both for you and your dad.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, we still don't talk a lot because you know how Asians are. We're just like that. Right. But at least there's not that the bond between us is not a bad one. We can like reach out to each other and it's cool, and I can say hi to him and there's no anger anymore.
Yeah, it's not distant anymore, right? There's not like animosity in between you guys.
Exactly.
That's cool, man. All right, man. Congrats. I'm making my way up to, I'm going to Colombia for the first time next month.
Cool.
I'm making my way from Cartagena down all the way to Medellin and then down to, I think, Pereira. But I think I might swing by in Manizales to check out your restaurant if it's still there.
If it's still there. I'm planning on closing it by the end of the month. But if you're still around, but just say what's up. If you pass by Manizales, shoot me a text and we can meet up. It'd be cool.
All right, cool, man. All right,
Dustin, thanks, bro. Catch you later.
You're West.
What's up, bro? No sympathy.
Hey, Wes, how's it going? Well,
it's good, man. What's your name?
So I don't want to give out my name yet because I have another username and stuff. One of the reasons is I've been doxxed before and I've even been swatted. So yeah, I am a part of a manosphere.
Okay.
So please understand that situation.
Okay, yeah, sure. No problem. What do you want to talk about?
No, one, I wanted to congratulate you on your 10K. I found you through Austin Holloman's channel. I am I'm more of a mixed Asian. I'm Asian and white. So it's really good. It's really awesome to see, someone, that's within somewhat within my ethnicity that's thriving, doing well out there. Yeah. And like I said, man, it sucks. I wouldn't have been able to find your channel if it wasn't for Holloman. And, but like I said, I think it's awesome. Thanks for throwing in Mike Ben's channel. I'm definitely going to sub to that because I definitely plan to pick up on some Spanish as well.
Cool, yeah. He's a great guy too. He's a great done that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, and I'm going to start looking through some of your old videos. How did you discover Manizales?
So it's a crazy story. My first week in Medellin, I met this guy named Daniel in a language exchange. I talked to a couple people, but him and we ended up talking for an hour and a half. And then I asked him, hey, so he told me he was going to Comuna 13 over the weekend with his friends. And I asked him if I can go. You know, they all speak Spanish. You know, I didn't really understand the tour, but I like the guy a lot. I just felt peace with him. He was a nice guy. So over the weekend, I went to go hang out with him. Turns out this guy, towards the end of 2020, moved back to Manizales. His family has an apartment here. And he invited me out. He's like, hey, would you like to come to Manizales? My sister would want to meet you. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So I went out and they showed me around for like 3-4 days. And I just ended up loving it. So it was because of that guy that I met. And it's funny because I met that guy. I came to Manizales and that's where I met my wife. So my wife and I like to joke that it was because of that Daniel that I met my wife.
Wow. That's awesome. And I'm happy to hear, you know, that not only are you doing well over there, but that you also found a woman there as well, because I know in mainstream media, they crap on us. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They do. They really crap on us. You know, they can release a film like Shang-Chi and think that they're giving us a pat on the back, but not to get off too much off topic, but did you notice the main character does not even have a love interest? Almost every superhero in Marvel films have a love interest, but for some reason they had to do Shang-Chi's character dirty like that.
I mean, I don't pay attention too much to that stuff. I haven't seen Shang-Chi. I think the real issue is that in America, race is so important, and there are like tiers. Okay, so this may be a controversial opinion, but I feel like it's totally okay for everybody to shit on Asian people, but as soon as Asian people maybe talk about Black people or the Hispanic community, right? It's like we get a lot of hate, even though, you know, they can talk down on us. We can't do the same thing. I don't know if you've seen that. And I think that the Asian man has been very emasculated in Western culture. And it's refreshing because coming to money or like Latin America, right? Those stereotypes don't exist. So they just see us as like, all they know about us is like, wow, Asian people are very disciplined. They're responsible. They're smart. And they honestly think we're really good looking. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
You ended up answering my question. I was about to ask you that. No, I think it's awesome. And again, no, it's great. And the next question, and because I'm part of the manosphere, do you plan, I don't know if you answered any of those questions in your past streams or anything like that, but do you plan on having children?
Yes.
Or do you already? Okay, you do plan on it.
Yeah.
And I know there's a bit of an age gap difference between you and your wife. Does that kind of give you a little bit of a concern based on that gap because of her being kind of older than you?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning it did, but I believe that God will bless us with children when the time is right. I've seen a lot of amazing stories in my church. We have friends that there was a couple, they were on the older side. Every doctor said that she wasn't able to have children because she had a problem with her uterus. And as she prayed, God came to her in a dream and told her that 1 year from now, you're going to have children. And she was able to have 2 children, and they both are amazing. They were able to be born without any problems. So I mean, I don't know if you're a religious person, but in my opinion, I think that God wants us to have kids, and when the time is right, they're going to come. So I don't worry about that too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a religious person. I actually did a Google search for an Eastern Orthodox church in your city. I actually found a Russian Orthodox one there. So if I ever find myself,
that's
you guys have a Russian Orthodox church, yes. So
crazy.
If I'm ever in that area, I definitely will attend. And I wanted to tie into Charles's question there that you put on the splash screen.
Yeah.
What made you? I understand that in Los Angeles, you said that you felt more closer to the Latin community and everything as opposed to the Asian country. Was that the biggest influence for you to relocate to a Latin country as opposed to Asian? And if that wasn't the case, if that was not the case, were you still open to relocating to an Asian country?
Okay, yeah. So the first question, I was just raised Hacienda Heights. If anybody knows that area, La
Yes.
Puente is filled with Mexican people. Ever since I was young, I was always surrounded by Latin people. And the cool thing was, like, I had Middle Eastern friends, I had Asian friends, right? And I had Latin friends. So I was exposed to everything. And I felt like I always just kind of had a Latin heart because when I was teaching, I taught piano for a bit too. And all of the students really that I connected with were from Latin descent. And I just saw the way they ran their family, and I just personally felt like I connected with that more. And most of the girls that I dated a few Asian girls in high school, but in college and above, it was mostly Latin women. And that's when I was like, I actually think I want a Latin wife because we just connect a lot more. So from a young age, I knew I wanted to go to Latin America and learn Spanish because I was surrounded by it. And it was always frustrating not being able to speak with my like the Mexican families. And I saw how they partied and I saw how tight they were. And I'm like, dang, this is something that I like because in Asian culture, we're so cold. We don't really party like that. We don't dance. It's just very cold. So that's how I knew. I didn't know I was going to come to Colombia. I thought it was going to be Argentina. I thought about going to Argentina to study music. I thought about maybe going to Mexico for a bit, but God put me in Colombia, and that's how I ended up here. Your second question is, would I live in an Asian country? Live, probably not, but actually future plans for this channel, I want to take my girl traveling for a bit, and I really want to go to Korea, and I really want to go to Japan, and if we can, I would like to go to China as well, and just show her my culture, show her like where I come from and everything. I think that would be a cool experience for her. But to live, because I chose to come here and her family is going to be very important for raising our kids. And I think for raising our kids, Latin values are actually better than Asian values. So I want to stay here in Colombia for that.
No, I hear you. And I was going to ask, I know you said God pointed you to Colombia. What sign did you receive? Did you see where you felt that God pointed you there?
Yeah. One morning, I talked about this on my channel. One morning, I was like, dang, where am I going to go? Am I going to go to Colombia, Mexico, whatever? One morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm never up early. I got a notification on my phone saying one-way tickets to Bogota for $160. So I was like, fuck it, bro. I bought it. There was a 2-day, what's the word? There was a 2-day like cancellation fee where I was able to think about it. But I was like, you know what? I think this is the move. And then that's when I started selling all my things.
I hear you. And do you, I remember putting in a question there about putting down a Cash App link. And I did see that you put Venmo down instead. And that's cool. But I was going to say with PayPal, because I know that Venmo is part of PayPal, they have been freezing accounts of people that are viewed as conservative. So if it doesn't matter, I know you can say you're not conservative, but if you're viewed as that, they'll start freezing your accounts. They've done that to people. And this is one of the reasons why I don't want to put my real identity out there. I will eventually have another channel with my real identity, but it's not going to be like manosphere stuff.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, bro. I feel like the stuff I talk about is controversial, but I don't dive too deep into the manosphere. I don't know. We'll see if that problem comes up. We'll see. But as for the moment, thanks for the advice. I actually want to move on. I think these conversations were great, bro. But thank you for asking all these questions, man. Best of luck.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, all good. All right, Chris, RJ, I see you. I'm gonna answer some of these questions first because there's a lot in the chat, and then I will get to you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going to 2 hours because this stream is doing really well. As a European, I found Medellin a very hard city to imagine living due to the constant concern of petty crime and lack of green space. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, salud. Hey Wes, when are you doing a video at Naval de Rios? You're so close by. They have the highest glamping in Colombia up there. When I get around to it, I've wanted to go to Naval de Rios. I went there actually my first time in Manizales, but to do a video up there, yeah, when we get the chance, I'll definitely make one. Will you do on the video on digital nomad visa, or will you already make one? I will not, because that's not the visa that I went for. Maybe ask David about that. He would know more. I just don't want to give bad advice. Charles Schwab accounts are great for international travel. No fees, international fees. I think would agree. Yeah, I use it all the time. Guys, if you guys don't mind liking the video, if you guys want to donate to the channel, that was a good time to do it. And if you guys want to hop in the video calls, in the description is a link to hop on. In my 6 months in Colombia, I found Colombians amazing, friendly, warm people. Shame about gringos getting targeted in the city by a minority of bad Colombians. I would agree with the first part, and the second part is it's just if you talk to Colombians, they will tell you about the safety, man. These are not just things with gringos. Like, Colombians think the same way. And you have to take the good with the bad, because Colombia is a great country, but it has a lot of roots in the narco trafficking and a lot of violence. And you can see the the rice is the root of that culture in Medellin and Pereira, you know, the cities where Pablo Escobar was. So I think you just got to take the good with the bad. Can you sign up online for Charles Schwab? Yeah. Okay, let's see. In Cali, are they more lighter skin? No, they're more moreno from what I've seen, and there's a lot more like black. So you'll get like light skin black, and I don't know if a lot of dark skin black there, but that's from what I've heard. I answered this question. I think I answered this question. Which municipality in Antioquia, not too far from Medellin, did you expect to live? But I would say Envigado, Sabaneta. A subscriber hit me up with San Cristobal, which he said was pretty cool. Yep, there you go. Venezuela, this is a great comment. The Venezuela situation is crazy. The most educated people I met were Venezuelans selling beach at the bar. Yeah, it's crazy. You have a business for selling Medellin. Yeah, my business is in Manizales, but I want to sell it to somebody who wants to open it in Medellin. There's a lot more opportunity there, and it just makes more sense. What's up, Edwin? Greetings, Ireland. Two-part question. Do you use an American bank or Colombian account since you lived there for a long time? How do travel visas work if you're visiting from the U.S.? Yeah, I use both. I have a Colombian bank account with the restaurant, and I have actually two. One's in my girl's name, one's in my name. How do travel visas work if you are visiting from the U.S.? Right now, I'm applying for the marriage visa, so that's what I'm working on. Okay, and then yeah, I'm gonna get to the calls. If you guys want your question answered, if you guys leave a super chat, I'll get to it right away, and I'm gonna get to as many questions as possible in this time. All right, RJ, you there?
Hey Wes,
what's up, bro?
How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for doing the stream. I actually just kind of popped in. There was no wait or anything. So I guess yeah, let me think. What? So
right,
currently you're living.
I'll let you
in
think. I need to
Manizales.
pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Right.
¿Me puedes dar más agua, por favor? Okay, that. All right, cool. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So currently you're in Manizales right now, right?
Yeah.
And you plan to be there forever and such. I guess in terms of you mentioned how you probably want to raise kids there. So would you mostly be set on sending them to like local schools as opposed to private schools or international schools?
No, we're gonna be homeschooling our kids.
Homeschooling.
Yeah. So
Okay.
with my beliefs, you know, I believe like Christian household. I believe that the man should be the sole provider and the woman should stay at home with the kids. And I want us to homeschool our kids. And the reason for that is, unfortunately, I feel like when kids go to public schools or private schools, they get infected with a lot of bad values from the world. I've just seen too much. Like that's where I learned all of my bad habits and my values from when I went to school. You know, so I want to be able to teach my kids the values that I want, and I think all of it starts at home. So I believe in homeschooling.
Got it. Do you think that a lot of those bad influences happen as soon as they get in the career world as well, though, in terms of making money and such?
I think it starts in high school, bro. Or like I think it starts in school, man. It's because of the social media era that we're living in now. So all the kids have phones. They just can see too much. They learn too much. Porn is a really big issue. You know, I remember like I've talked about that on my channel a lot. Like I think porn is too accessible right now, and I felt like when I was in school, you know, everything was just, I don't know, like worldly values are very sexualized, and I'm not gonna, obviously I think protecting my kids from that is very what's the word, naive, you know, because you can't protect your kids 100%, but at least I feel like I'll have a lot more control in teaching what my kids believe and how they act and being good citizens if I teach them at home.
I see. Got it. And I guess and most of your social circles at this point are amongst other Colombian locals, right? Not as many foreigners and such.
I don't have any foreigner friends. I had
Got
a Mexican friend who's from LA. He was one of my subscribers, and he got integrated into my group, and they all loved him. But yeah, to be honest, I have a couple of friends back at home that I talk to still, but everybody here, no, I don't have any foreigner friends.
I see. Got it. Yeah, well, thanks for answering my questions here. I think that's probably it for the moment.
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for stopping by.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. What's up, bro? Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I could share some advice for some people who want to learn another language, just not just Spanish.
Do that. Yeah.
Honestly, if you could find a community in the States like LA or New York, you just practice. That goes for all languages, honestly. So the way I see it is that if you don't have that particular language, what I do is just when you're at home, you just whatever language you're learning, you turn on the subtitles and you have to listen into that language. Don't use it in English because it's distracting and you're not really learning a lot. And you're not supposed to understand everything at all, no matter how high you get, because you're going to be learning anyway.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of exposure. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
I think what you did, because like Chris's Spanish is very impressive. He has the gringo accent like all of us, but he understands really well and he speaks extremely well, and he learned all in school. But I think it's because you've always had the drive to learn yourself. That's why you're so good, you know. And you said that you had a talent for language as well.
Yeah. And actually, yeah, I do. So, because if it wasn't for her, that's the skill. If it wasn't for my teacher, so I just got to give her credit for that. And I'm still using subjunctives in most of my conversations.
Good. Yeah, I know we worked on that. We talked about that. And
like subjunctives, like if you want to say something like quiero que pongas la foto al lado,
para que or no lo hagas. Yeah, dude, subjunctive is literally another language. It's Spanish. Spanish is so vast, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I feel like going to any country isn't really not the best way at all to learn anything, to be honest. Just because are you actually speaking to the people that speak it? You really think going to Shanghai is going to help you learn Mandarin, or going to Dubai is going to help you learn Arabic if you're not going to actually speak? Or even in Canada too, in the French-speaking province, there's a lot of people who just speak English all the time. They don't speak a lick of French, but you can get by in the big city like Montreal. But it's kind of disrespectful, and the French speakers are kind of getting annoyed by it.
Yeah. I think it's just like the right thing to do. If you migrate to a new country, you have to learn the language.
Yeah.
I have that opinion about people coming to Colombia, and I have the same opinion about people going to the United States. I think it's disrespectful if you live in a country and you don't speak their language.
I would say in the U.S. is that most people, I would say they're just very lucky. In New York, though, if you could just pick out the language, you could just get a translator right there. That you're just very lucky in the U.S. But other places, hey man, be paying the ass to get a translator and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to say?
Yeah. When I went to that place, that arepa lane, when I spoke to the guy, they didn't look at me as like a typical gringo when I spoke to them. So they kind of accepted it the way I spoke, although they didn't look at me the same way as like a typical gringo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, like $4 for marcuya and lulo. Now it's $5.
Nice. All right, bro. Thank you so much for the chat. Yeah, and I'm gonna try to get to as many questions as I can. Peace out, Chris.
Peace out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Like the stream. I'm gonna go for a little more. Yeah, it is a fun. I'm having a lot of fun, so we'll see how far we go. If you guys want to join, I'm gonna link the stream in the bio. And yeah, let's go. Would you recommend Central American countries such as Panama? I haven't been. I've only really been to Mexico, so I would talk to David because David has a lot more experience in that. Oh yeah, okay. So I want to address the safety situation, right? So there's a guy so this question, I think this is a really dumb comment that a lot of foreigners keep saying. People, why do you keep saying Medellin is dangerous? That is not true. You have to use your common sense in any big city. I'm American and lived there for 4 months, and I've never had an incident. I feel like that's like a survivor bias kind of thing, because if there's a lot of people that have not, but a lot of people I have met have. And I when people say that Medellin is not dangerous, I feel like that's such bad advice, because maybe I may over exaggerate how dangerous Medellin is, but I feel like too many foreigners underestimate how like dangerous it is. Okay, dangerous it is there. I'll give you an example. When I'm in Medellin, I will almost never take my nice camera out, because that puts a target on your back. If you go to Europe, let's say Switzerland or even some of the other places, I can take the camera out. I can put the camera out in a tripod and film, and I won't have any problems. And even here in Manizales, I feel the same. So I don't know, bro. I think people need to be a lot more realistic about Medellin, and it is a dangerous place, if I'm being honest. And that's what the locals think as well, bro. All right, Joe, I see you in the chat. I'm gonna answer a couple questions, and then yeah. Thanks, Clement. It's my cousin. Thanks for the support, bro. Are you looking for a partner or prefer to sell the biz? I've thought about the partner option. But I don't want to. I'd rather be like the face of the restaurant, but I don't want to have to deal with the day-to-day stuff. For me, it's just like I have so many plans with YouTube and my music. They're both taking off that I just have no like mental space for doing the restaurant. And if someone wants to partner up, maybe go fit half in and then they can run it and I'll use my platform. I'm open to that. But for the moment, I'd rather just sell everything. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. What is the process of owning a property? Look, earlier in the stream, there's a guy who talked about it. I think the second guy. I'm going to try to like timestamp the stream when it's over so you guys can see. Did David mention to you what part of Houston he's from? I don't remember. Interesting question. Have your opinions changed on Andrew Tate given the recent events? Do you think he's a misogynist? I don't think it was right that he was banned off of Instagram and Facebook. I personally agree with a lot of what he says, but just like everybody on the internet, I take all the good things about it and I discard all the bad things. I think I agree with him about 80%. I don't agree with the way that he says you can cheat on your woman. It doesn't make sense. He's like, I believe, if he says he believes in family, he wants a traditional woman, X, Y, and Z. And then he goes and says that like, yeah, but I'm never going to be loyal to my woman. I think that's BS. I wouldn't say he's misogynist. I can understand a lot of his views. I think he says it in a way that may sound misogynist, but the foundation of it, I understand. And at the end of the day, I am a fan of Andrew Tate, and I think it's what they're doing to him right now. There's a reason why he got so popular. He's speaking to like a portion of men. Like he's talking about men's rights in a way that hasn't been done before. And I think that was severely lacking for a long time. Yeah, I did that. Okay. Anybody else want to join the stream? Go ahead and open. If not, I'm gonna answer some more questions. And I think I'm gonna cut it off in like 8 minutes. Yeah, and leave a like on the video, please. Thank you. Okay, there's a lot of people talking about Andrew Tate, talking about a lot of things. Okay. Wage gap is a myth. China killing Muslims. Made. I want to give a shout out to Imagine You. I thank you so much for following all my content and always making comments. I appreciate you, bro. What's up, Papa? Todo bien, Papa? Mike is a legend. I found Wes's channel from Mike. Yeah, he's a really great guy too. Very friendly and very respectful. I enjoyed the thing that I did. I did the opposite of what Wes did. I'm Asian from Latam. I married a white gringo and moved to the U.S. Nice, bro. Enjoyed your video on being lonely in Medellin. Maybe it's because I'm super introverted, but it's more than your average digital nomad mad. Probably doesn't have much in common with the local. I agree, bro. Yeah, bro. R.I.P. Wes, you're closing the restaurant. What happened? So I'm going to talk about that in future videos. So for me, it's just owning a restaurant is very tough. The food business is really hard, and you have to be able to invest a lot of your time and time that I don't have. I just got married. My girl and I were talking about family. I have YouTube that I'm working very hard on and my music career. And it's just I have no space to do a restaurant. So I think I'm just going to cut my losses and I want to sell it. I think the restaurant has a lot of potential, but I just don't have the time and the mental space to focus on that. Okay. Damn. All right. Theo Abraham, love your content, sir. My question is, how many countries have you been? I've been to over 24 countries, and Colombia is my favorite. Seriously consider moving once I have my ish together. I've been to 32 countries. I've been to, I think, like 8 in Asia and 20 in Europe, I think. Something like that. I've been to quite a bit, and then a few in Latin America. I think Colombia is my favorite too, for it has its own reasons. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Colombia is my favorite for a lot of reasons. But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I think I answered the question. What's up, Paul? Thanks for the comment, and congrats on your wedding. Went to channel for 3 months. Went to Colombia for 3 months because of your channel, and going back in a few months. Cool, bro. Hey, Wes, coming to Medellin in 5 weeks. I've been all around Colombia many times prior. Having an opportunity to purpose a established cafe in La Reles. Would love to talk to you more. Yeah, bro, send me a DM or send me an email at the email. It's going to be in the description, and we can talk business. I have not been to Santa Marta. Talk to David about that. Sarah, thank you so much. I appreciate you always commenting on my videos. You the real MVP. Why not private Catholic schools? Because a lot of those schools, they're not any better. I've seen a lot of like all women's schools. 80% of them are lesbian. And I'm like, that completely defeats the purpose of what like Catholicism is supposed to stand for. So I don't know. I believe in homeschooling, and I think that's the best way to go. Any reason you didn't go into Airbnb route when investing in Colombia? I feel like with your real estate knowledge, it would be an easy transition. I just didn't have the money. I've thought about doing it, but with all the talks with Petro removing extra property rights, I don't know anymore. But in the future, I would love to invest in real estate. I just didn't have the capital because I don't have the money. Okay, what's up, man? Do you know a lot of Asian or Asian American men who relocated to Colombia permanently? What brought them there? I don't. I've seen a few in Medellin. I know a guy who owns a restaurant, and I've met a couple over there, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that have been in Colombia a long time before I was. I'm just the first guy to make like YouTube videos about it. But yeah, how much is it to buy an average apartment in Bogota? It's more expensive than Medellin. It's very expensive. But I don't know if I'm saying. Bogota is more dangerous than Medellin. A lot of no-go places in Bogota, but nice areas too. So here's what I would say about that. I think Bogota, you're right. Bogota has more sketchy areas than Medellin, but I think just like day-to-day overall safety in all the richer places and stuff, I actually feel like Medellin feels a little more dangerous. What's up, Joe? Thanks for stopping by, bro, at the restaurant. Appreciate you. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, so if anybody wants to hop on the stream, now's the last chance because I'm going to answer a few more questions and I'm going to cut it. You didn't like Pereira? No. Every time I go to Pereira, I feel like the energy is very heavy. It's heavier. No, it's about the same as Medellin, I would say. I'm just not a huge... I don't feel peace there. It's hard to explain. That's just kind of how it is. How are the hospitals in your city? Pretty solid. I wouldn't say they're the best in Colombia, but they're pretty good. And what's the quality of care like in your local hospitals? Honestly, pretty good. I don't have any insurance. I'm going to have some with my girl, but at the moment I don't. But healthcare is just so cheap here. So I think it's like, like for most people, you don't need to get insurance. It's totally cool. Compared to the USA, is Colombia a lot less geopolitically extreme? So towards Asians, do Colombians talk or care about politics or geopolitics compared to Americans? They talk about politics just like anybody in the world, but I don't know. That's a tough question. How much is your business? Right now, I'm offering all the equipment. If you want to start your own business, restaurant business, for $10,000. If you want to if you want to buy the brand and open the Asian restaurant with all of the recipes, we can negotiate. I'm thinking maybe $2,000 or $3,000 more. But yeah, there you go. Are you seeking residency or citizenship? Citizenship with marriage. Love watching your videos with David when you were in Medellin recently on his channel and yours. Cheers, bro. No, I am not a mountain biker. No, I don't really have a morning routine. I live pretty loosely because it allows me to be creative. Does your restrictions qualify for investment visa? No, it does not. When will the restaurant close? I'm planning on closing it on the 31st of August at the end. Are women in Manizales open to dating foreigners? That's a yes and a no. Dating, you may be able to find some girls here and there, but if you want a good relationship, you're going to get hella vetted by the families because the traditional values are still good here, and foreigners have the worst reputation in Colombia. I'm going to make a video about that, but foreigners nowadays are looked at extremely poorly. Great channel, West. I'm thinking of retiring soon, planning to move into Mexico. Quick question. Is Mexican Spanish a lot different than Colombia or Argentine Spanish? Yes, for the fact that there's a lot of different slang. The slang is different. Like the base Spanish is similar, but something that could be a groseria or like a curse word in Mexico is different in Colombia, and etc. What do you use for music software creating music? I use Studio One Professional. What neighborhoods do you recommend in Manizales? We love to walk. Milan, Palermo, El Cable, La Estrella. Any like El Centro, like where El Cable is, pretty much that area. That's where you want to stay. Would you want your kids to study in American University or Colombian? If I'm being honest, bro, I don't believe in universities. I think a lot of it is a lot of it's a scam in the States. In Colombia, it's a lot cheaper. It's different. I'm gonna tell my kids like, okay, so do you want to go to entrepreneur route or the trade route, or do you want to go to university? I'm gonna give them the option, but I'm not gonna force them to go to university. Love it, bro. That's so funny. Did an election change the situation for expats? Yeah, there's a lot of changes happening with visas right now. So yeah. Here's a good question. Do male citizens have to serve military in Colombia? Yes, unless, or like police, unless you have like an excuse if you're studying or like a medical disability, I believe. I was posting on forums about how safe Medellin is, and then after 6 months, someone jumped off the back of a motorbike and robbed me at gunpoint. It was early in the evening in a good area. There you go. Exactly, that's proof. All right, Don, I'm gonna add you in right now. Oh, what advice would you give for starting a restaurant here? Colombians are very, this is going to sound bad, closed-minded people when it comes to foreign food. The smaller cities, Colombians, and this is a good and bad thing, right? I think it happens anywhere in the world. Colombians are very proud of their food, just how I imagine Japanese people are, Chinese people, anywhere in the world. So in the smaller cities, most people will always choose to eat their own food rather than try international food. If you want to open an international restaurant, the best move is to go to Medellin and Bogota because you'll have a bigger audience, a lot of foreigners, and more people are open there. But in the smaller cities, the things that do well are pizza, hamburgers, wings, the typical stuff that Colombians like. All right. And, okay, yeah. And I'm going to bring Don in right now, and then I'm going to cut the... Bro. This is so bad. That's a bad comment. Yo, what's up, Don? How you doing? And he's gone. Cheers. All right. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Leave a like on the video if you like. So it supports me. If you guys want to donate, I'm gonna leave the links in the description down below. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.